Okay, I had to go and check and see where Oklahoma Christian's in Edmond, so that's a bigger town. Edmond, Oklahoma is a little bit bigger town, so it's in. I was wondering. I said, is it in a little burg? No, it's in a bigger town. Like St. Edwards is in Austin, and I think St. Mary's is in San Antonio. I'm not sure. And Dallas Baptist is in Dallas, and Lubbock Christians in Lubbock, so they're in bigger communities. They're just smaller colleges because they're private. As far as the comets go, um, uh, I would imagine that's a pretty big school. It's University of Texas at Dallas Comets, so I'd imagine they have a pretty big enrollment. I'd imagine it's a bigger school. It's just the funding for the for the for the school is different because of the state, because you have UTA and you have and then the other communities, you have UTSA and you have UTEP, and you have and all these, and it's when you have that big of a populace, like University of Wyoming is in Nebraska. It's because you're in a sparsely populated states that are rural states. And so, as far as the income to compete with the rationality of competitive economic athletics, which is insane, you have this insanity is it's not going to slowly go away. Okay, it's going to rapidly go away. Okay, it's not going to be a slow. We have till 1950. It won't be till 19 whatever that we have this, like at the Paris summits and the guy from Taft University and NYU talking. It's like, no, that's not rational. That's not logical. Okay, well, be truthful in 25 years. I'll faithfully love you in 30 years. Sod the fuck off, right? So you've got to understand that and it says so in the Bible and in the Quran, and that when it happens, it's going to happen overnight because it's right and it needs to happen, and it should have. Why didn't it happen year one? Well, because of assholes. Why isn't it happening today? Because of assholes. Why didn't it happen? You should have happened yesterday. Well, yeah, truth is truth and lie is lie, and truth is evident and lie is obvious, and faith, you're either faithful or you're not. But the thing is these people are abused. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. That's why I'm the guy, like Jesus, and the focal point of correcting technology. Because you guys, well, fuck it, kill them all. Like poor Gabe, who was raised Pentecostal by a church that's based on mythological and irrational. If I was God, I would just kill them all and start over. And I was like, no, it doesn't work that way. No, you're either right or wrong. You're either good or bad. You're either faithful or you're not faithful. You're either truthful or you're a liar, right? And like, a thief. A thief is a liar that tells themselves what they're doing is justified. And it justifies the means, right? I had conversations with Barack Obama a lot back when I lived in Cochise County and here when I moved here. It justifies the means. No. Because truth is truth and lie is lie. You're either faithful or you're not faithful, right? I can't make Barack Obama be a faithful human being like myself. And it's hard for my son to survive in Barack Obama's world when he can't live with his dad. And well, he can't. Technically, he could. He could probably try to put in for a job in El Paso and live up here, next to his dad and his grandpa, and then realize, dad has to do it because he's the focal point. He's real, but he could spend time with me and we could be together, and stuff. These are all just choices because they get manipulated by perverts, and and you could make choices to try to move that way. If you can't fulfill that choice and be a part of that, then you chose not to. Okay. So if people choose not to be around you because they're upset or embarrassed or scared or whatever, that's their choice. That's their decision. Me, Um, uh, I'm the Messiah, so it's unfair for me to say what would I do if I knew the Messiah and I'd be around him all the time. I'd brush his teeth and clean his butt and tell him to calm down and relax and go out and get some sun and this year get a chase lounge if you have to. I don't know though. I think about it, but I'm like, Earl, that's a little far in advance. Where it's not even February yet, so I don't think about buying a chase lounge from Walmart to sunbathe. Like Suzuki always tells me, you could be in a house, you still might have to take the salt baths to help get the poison out of you, but it could be in your house in the Gila. Okay. That our, our Army Corps of RNG and Virginians builds for you because there are people that are trying to think, do you like them sometimes? Lukewarm, right? I have no use for you. If you're lukewarm, you're not going to help. I'm going to do it for you. And that's the truth. Like I told my brother-in-law, Jerry, I said, and the king, when he came to visit us when we were in Cochise County, I said, that whole thing about Christ's army, the only thing, it's not really an army, but the only thing you're going to have is the sword of truth that comes out of your mouth and the shield of faith that keeps you from, trying to trap the soul and the mind. And so it's, that's it. You can hit it with a stick, it's not going to change, and that's just the way it is, and it's true. And so when you have people that turn eternity into magic, it's because they're frightened, they've trapped the soul in the flesh, and they're making bad decisions because other people are making bad decisions. Okay, this isn't, this is not, believe it or not, it's not Unsolved Mysteries with Leonard Nimoy talking and shit. It ain't nothing like that, right? And you ain't gonna get, I seriously doubt if you're gonna get the Meg or Godzilla or, no. Okay, guys, no. Okay. George Lucas's imagine is there's always a bigger fish. Now, technically, survival typically mandates that, depending on the relativity, it goes in, bigger, smaller, whatever, that adapts to the components of the survival and the environment if that's what you're doing is surviving. Oh no. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm watching the basketball game between the Mustangs and the Eagles. And the girls are putting in a they're playing a good team. Oh yeah, and they're putting in a pretty good effort. A lot of the girls on Oklahoma Christian are just bigger and more athletic, and the little girls on Western New Mexico are not as big or as athletic, and so they're putting in a good effort. And the little, there she goes, the little one. She's so little. Number 11, her what is her name again? She's cute. She's adorable. She's 5'3". Yeah, and that's compared to my Law, my Miriam and Edna. That's tall. And she's so little and tiny and cute. Yeah. Law was 5'1", almost 5'2". Miriam was 5'1", and Edna was 4'11" or 4'10". Yeah, so she's 5'3" and she's little, but the girls, all the girls I've loved before traveled in and out my door. Yeah, I was like, she's so tiny, but yeah, Edna was, she was 4'10" or 4'11". Yeah. She was adorable. Well, she was one of the most beautiful women you ever saw in your life. I was so, when I sit and think about it, that night we went in the Walk of the Moonlight, and then when I took her home to her boss's house to drop her off at her boss's house, that was a nice time. And picked her up on the waist and put her on the steps and kissed her goodnight. She giggled, and I floated back to the car and then floated all the way back from Scottsdale to Glendale, North Phoenix. We were just outside of Glendale. Yeah. Yeah. I'll never forget that night. I think it took me the whole album of Pieces of a Dream. Boom, 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 boom. I think I listened around midnight. I think I listened to, yeah. And when I first saw you, I knew right away I'd fall in love with you someday. Now we're together and I thought that was it. I thought that was, she's all I ever, she was the one I had always dreamed of, so I thought this is it. This is the whole, and then Gilbert's dad showed up and threatened to kill me, and told him go for it. Then she didn't come back, so I left it alone. It's her baby's daddy. He didn't keep threatening to kill me. He just turned white and left. Why didn't you go after her and talk to her? I didn't have her phone number. I had no way to get in touch to her. I didn't know where she lived, and I didn't want to go harass her at her work. I didn't want to cause her problems. I figured if she was meant to get away from him and be with me, she would, which she did, but I was already, at that time, was signed up for the military to help with my family's and everybody's financial problems. And I called Yolanda and asked her if she had any advice, because her dad was a chief, and we started dating. She's hey, yeah, you want to go out? I said, sure, yeah, I'll go out. And then things started getting serious. We hit it off. We had a great time. She looked like Dorothy Dandridge. She's 5'1", about 100 pounds, absolutely gorgeous, good personality. And when she thought I was serious about settling down and being a husband and stuff, she didn't want a relationship with me. She thought I was a dog who was tired of getting dogged by women and had enough. She wanted to fix me. I don't understand women. It's not so much I don't understand women. I do understand women. I just don't understand why women accept hell. I understand Ruth and Esther and Khadijah, okay? But I don't understand women that are not going to be like Ruth, Esther, and Khadijah when it's obvious that the lie sucks and, it's completely evident that truth is wonderful, and you don't have to worry about Billy, don't be a hero, right? Oh, Johnny, I feel you're unkind. I love you far better than all of mankind. You get up and you tell them, I ain't going to go kill people in Iraq for your oil companies. I ain't going to do it. I protest. Even when, if you understand the circumstances, you tell them it's wrong. And then you get the hell out. They'll incarcerate you. Yeah, because you signed a contract and you didn't understand the magnitude of the whoring and the warring and the stupidity of that contract, because you thought you had to have money. You do. If you don't, there's nowhere to run and nowhere. If you do not give them their rent, if you don't give them their extortion or their exploitation, they'll bomb you back into the Stone Age. And then if you try to go back to the Stone Age, where are you going to go? You have to buy the land. You have to do that, or they come in and they bring people with guns in Kevlar and they incarcerate you because you are trespassing on federal land, on Ted Turner's land, on John Cannon's land, and that's his cow. He branded it. Okay, so what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? How are you going to live the ways of Job and Jonah and Malachi and Muhammad in this hell? So I understand women. I just don't understand why they don't stand up to be like Ruth and Esther and love men like me. That I do not understand. And I never should have to understand it, because they have a brain injury, and forgive them, Father, for they know what they do, and life's eternal and grace is infinite. So I got this. I am fixing quantum computing. And if you don't believe that, you've got oceanfront property in Arizona and 1 or 2 earthquakes away, and you're going to cash in big time, right? You asshole. Okay. All my exes live in Texas. That's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. Right? So watching the little girls play basketball for corporations. Yeah, they're corporations. Yeah. There's a loss of opportunities. You can't begrudge Western New Mexico University for helping people survive this hell because they have no real alternative, or they'll come in and so the people grab your mount your horses, grab your swords. So they killed the mountain people and they got their just rewards. And they went in, they turned to peace on earth was all it said. Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and treat a friend. Oh, man, she missed it. That was a good little drive. Do it in the name of heaven. You can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day. On the bloody morning after, one tin soldier rides away, and then he finds a woman, he reproduces, and they keep fucking and fighting because, hey, Lord's Prayer is a joke or an incantation, right? So they did pretty good. It's 45-51 going into the third quarter. They were down 22-31 at halftime. So the little girly girls are doing pretty good. I was going to go up there and climb on the roof and work on some nuts. But I'm going to watch the girls and see how they do. And I guess I'll go try to grab a few nuts. I think I'm going to go shoot hoops after the men's game. I think I'm going to take care of myself. Collecting nuts isn't too bad. I get lots of sunshine, and it helps kick out a lot of, sunshine in me. It's just, well, it's with everybody, If you're depressed because of your chemical poison abuse, because it hurts to go out in the sun and kick it out. When you go out there, it hurts. It's like you do the splits. No, I don't want to do that. Why? Because it hurts. Well, I have to go out in the sun. And I have to get the stuff out. And then I got to soak in the salt. And I got it, and the pus comes out of because my body will save itself. My body is amazing. I think I'm dying. It goes, it feels that way because they tried to get you to volunteer to die through depression and chemical poisoning. And I dehydrate more when I'm asleep than when I'm awake. So, and I sleep with all the windows open, right? See that? And so, people, well, then why don't you get an air filter and sleep with the windows closed during the winter? Because I told the trees I was going to change what's happening. Okay. And I trust the trees more than I trust the people flying in the airplanes dropping chemtrails on me. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop. Man, I'm glad I'm single. Right? Do you understand? So, oh, ha. The girls are so cute. They're playing basketball. They're cute. They're playing basketball. A lot of my friends in high school at Mayfield and at... and so, Donna Nacy was a fun person. She was a nice person. We both liked basketball, and she was the star player on the girls' team. And and Coach Hernandez was her coach. He coached the girls' basketball team, and he was assistant coach at Grand Canyon. And then he got an assistant's job at Southwest Bible College. He was a recruiter for Southwest Bible College. He was an assistant at Grand Canyon. So he had lots of irons in the fire because, you pay your bills. He loves basketball. I like basketball, too. And they appreciated him and thought he was a good person and appreciated his judgment and stuff. And so, which speaks well for Paul Westphal, because Coach Hernandez was a good guy. He was a good person. He's trying to help people be good citizens that pay their bills and, and endicott their way through, hey, don't be Craig Criado. He'll end up in jail, right? And so, hit it, baby. Yes! All right. So she hit the three. But so it's that's it. Get up there. Let's watch the screen. Okay, sorry. But where was I? I forgot. Well, we'll talk later. We'll talk later. But there's a lot of things going on, with the breathing and stuff. So you just gotta survive, stop, eliminate abuse, recover. Yield and overcome? No. You only yield when necessary. Okay? Oh, is she okay, baby? You all right? Okay, yeah, she is. And so you only yield when necessary. Okay? Jesus didn't yield to the Romans. Jesus had to stand up to the Romans and prove them wrong eternally and show us an example of a man and the measure of a man that other men that fight for money and competition can't measure up to, and he can kick their ass eternally. I'll be kicking your lying, selfish, murdering, raping ass eternally. And make one more fucking movie about being a crime solver with violence and Aikido, and I'll snap you off at the elbow and that'll be it. I won't shove it up your ass. No, not like I'm not like what's his face's character on the Leonardo DiCaprio's character on One Battle. No, I just sit there and told him, I said, you could take my money to Mexico and I'll work and get more to pay my extortion live here, which I did. You take my daughter off and you rape her in a brothel in Mexico, I will eventually hunt you down and kill you. Okay. Oh, you'll make the quantum computing. You'll do it. You'll set up the conditions for me to do it. I won't have to. You'll build your own computers. You'll build your own robots so we could all have world peace. It's self-fulfilling prophecy. What can I say? If you stand up for the Lord's Prayer, forgive them 7 times upon infinity, right? You don't. You just might have to build a robot for you to know peace, because your robot will have to kill you, because I am the example of manhood for the computing to understand. What can I say? I'm gorgeous. Okay. Oh, no, you ain't going to offer me any kind of award show with some little cute blonde telling jokes about people getting murdered over money and how funny it is. I'll kick the rock out of your Johnson. I already did. I know. I'm gorgeous. I get it. I can't remember the faces I used to make, but I had one on there, and I remember Chris told me, you look like The Rock. And I was like, no, he looks like me. Well, he wants to be a man when he grows up. Maybe one day he'll grow up. Okay. He looks like me. Oh, yeah. When you get that look, like, what? You really think that? That's bullshit. Don't think that way. Okay. Thanks.